Imagine a business made out of love, on a broomstick, and then trying to compete against the biggest toy manufacturers going around. Well, that's exactly what today's guest, Rini Lombard, has done. And she's putting a smile on kids' faces all over the world. It's the award-winning Small Business Big Marketing Show, thanks to American Express and Yellow.
Yeah, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show, where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
And welcome back to your weekly dose of marketing cleanliness. I'm your host, Timbo Reid. You, infinitely more importantly, you're a motivated business owner, and you're ready to crank out some great marketing to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it absolutely deserves to be. Today's 444th episode is made possible thanks to digital marketing agency Yellow. If you're ready to get found online, and who isn't, then check out their full suite of products over at yellow.com.au. And we're also made possible thanks to the great guys at American Express. To see how your business expenses can reward you, Google Amex Business. Big show today. Life-size kids doll manufacturer Rini Lombard takes us behind the scenes of her burgeoning little toy empire. And I have a whinge about a recent customer experience I had with a local business that could have been so much better. As per usual, team, there is marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in. Up until a few years ago, Rini Lombard was a stay-at-home mum looking after 3 beautiful children. But that all changed when her young ballet-loving daughter asked for a dance partner. With her young sons completely disinterested in the idea, can't believe that, they suggested she make up something from a broomstick. Not a bad idea. Rini did exactly that, added a few extras, and a star was born. The Ballerina Me life-size doll that her daughter could dance with. Fast forward to today, and Rini has sold 7,000 of these amazing life-size dolls to kids around the world, has 6 contracted staff, and has just launched a second range for young boys. This is a wonderful David and Goliath business story of love and family, of making mistakes and celebrating the big wins along the way. I started off by asking Rini to describe the beautiful child-sized dolls she's created.
Well, it was actually starting out, from my daughter who loved ballet. So at that time, she was only 4.5 and was really busy. And she came to me asking, "Oh, Mom, can you please dance with me?" And I just turned around and I said to her, "I can't do it right now. I've got to go and get ready. Why don't you dance with your brother?" Of course, his brother turned around and he said, "No. Why don't you play with the broomstick or a teddy bear or something like that?" And
Typical brother.
Not playing with her. He is a very supportive brother, isn't he? So she just left, dropped her face, and it's before Christmas for sure. And of course I thought, well, maybe I'm gonna find her something to dance with and play with, just to as a Christmas gift, the thought that she loved dancing and as a dancing partner and her companion. I couldn't find it, so that's how it all started. So I thought I'll make it then. I created one, and so it was all taken from there.
What a great story. Just describe what these dolls look like before we get stuck into the sort of business end of things, Rini.
Well, initially doesn't look very good. It's disheartening, but my daughter was so beautiful. She just saw the effort that I put in. And so it was a life size, the size of her at the time. So she was about less than a meter height, and there's no face at the time, but she's got a beautiful dress. Louise looked at me, "That's just gorgeous, Mom. I can draw the face on her." So the delight that she expressed when she received it and hugged, it is actually the expressions of the thought that I wanted to do for a long time for her. Mm-hmm. Then when I looked at it, I thought, well, if that simple thing can brought so much joy to her, what would we do if we can do something better? So I actually engaged with a few friends who was a graphic designer, and she was helping me out to translate the look of the face and everything, put what my thought is into drawings. And then now she is warm in the appearance, and of course she's beautiful, a ballerina inspired.
No longer made from a broomstick.
No longer made from the broomstick. She's got her tutu. So mainly we have a pink because a lot of girls love pink and fuchsia, but we do have other colors now. She's got straps on her hands and also on her feet. So that's what she is now.
And she's got beautiful big eyes that look like something, and this is, I say this respectfully, do you remember the film Avatar?
Yes.
She's sort of got those big pearly eyes that just stare at you. So quite a beautiful creation. And she's made from what?
We call it polyester, but it's a fabric, and so it's still soft for you to touch. It's a rag doll, so she's got the woolen hair. So we have basically it's a plush doll for children.
Well, they look amazing. I encourage anyone listening, and if you wanted to see what they look like as we are speaking about the business side of things shortly, head over to ballerinaandmedoll.com.au and you'll get a sense. I mean, they're quite a beautiful creation. And I must say, Rini, pretty reasonably priced at around $90. In terms of bang for your buck, it looks like it's a wonderful gift. Now, what I'm interested in, Rini, is the fact that you've got 3 beautiful children. You live in the wonderful Melbourne regional town of Geelong. You have been a stay-at-home mum all your life. You haven't run a business before.
Never.
So tell us about that decision to go from being a stay-at-home mum to you are now a successful entrepreneur.
It was a big decision, but it was the most satisfying decision that I have ever made in my whole entire life, I tell you. The most important decision I made is that I needed to support myself. Mm-hmm. I needed to support my children. I also would like to inspire them that you can do it, and you put your heart and your soul and work hard and you studied and to make it happen. It is not an easy to start a business. It's a long journey, and I'm still fallen and back up again. Mm-hmm. So the decision it's there. The most important thing is that for me is to be able to work and support my children and flexibility.
You've chosen a decision to be not only a role model as a wonderful mother, but now a role model as a business mum, a mumpreneur that your kids can look at, I guess, at some point and say, look at mum, she's really, really holding her own.
Yeah, so my daughter actually took up on that, and she, at school she was quite happy, and I'm very proud that she can say, yeah, that's my mum.
That's
she
awesome.
Did that. Yes, she did that, and so I think there are a few elements into that. Apart from allows me to work, but also can be flexible in some ways when the kids are sick or something like that. I don't have family in here. I can leave and attend to the children when they really need me or during the school hours and things like that.
So you have gone ahead and prototyped Ballerina Me doll. You were talking about you had a graphic designer friend. You had a number of supporting friends and colleagues that just basically helped you pull this business together. Is that how it worked?
So the graphic design part was one thing, and then I don't know about the business whatsoever. I have no idea from the brush razoo. But my friend slowly said, okay, go to the small businesses website. I do one thing. And then register. Then I came across this. So this is actually, and I need to thank to one of the manager who actually believe in me, because you only need one person apart from yourself to believe in you, to make it happen, and you go for it. And he is the manager for the niche program. I think his name is Paul Miller. And I applied for a niche program at the time. And because I was in the low income, so I applied for that and I was approved. And then from there, I started pretty much to set up a sole trading business.
That's really interesting, Rini, that you talk about that one person who believes in you. Did you feel at the outset that you needed that, or did that fellow Paul just literally fall into your lap and at that point you realised, we all need one of those people in our business lives, in our personal lives too, really?
Yes. Here's the thing. I brought up this idea and I said, well, because when the prototype come into realizations and then become samples, and I had about a dozen of samples, which I took to a market to sell, basically to see how people react. They loved it. And that's when I came across Ni's program and someone like Paul. And so when I applied that and I was talking to somebody, I won't disclose it, and they just looked and they thought, how silly is that? There's so many plush dolls out there. How can you even make it? And not really cry. I actually, I kid you not, I was crying. I just doubt myself. And I've pretty much put that on the store for a couple of days. And then, of course, I've got a phone call and they say, hey, are you coming to class? And I said, yeah, I'm coming to class. But he was saying to me, there's so many, think about coffee and cafes.
What a great piece of advice. So what he's saying is don't listen to the naysayers. There's plenty of cafes. What industry really, Rini, isn't overly populated, isn't so competitive that you would look at it and go, I'm not going to enter that. But so what was it in you? You must have had this deep belief in your idea with the support of Paul to say, no. Thanks for your negativity, but I'm going to do this.
Because I believe that the purpose why I created this at the first place is to bring joy and to bring warmth and happiness. And when I did my little market research at the market, I saw the little children were drawn to it and give it a hug, and so much love actually exude from that children. And I can see there's so much love from the grandparents actually affected by it. And if I can bring one joy and through what I'm creating, I feel accomplished, and I know that is the most important essence in anything that you created.
I think you have articulated something that many, many business owners listening would love to articulate, and that is the why do you do what you do? And you are very, very clear on that, whether you know it or not, but clearly, and I'm sure there's been hard times and I want to talk to you about them, but when you are confronted by an issue or a blockage or a problem in the business, you just go back to the fact that I am doing this to bring joy to other people's lives.
Yeah, and having the compassion. And if somebody that works with you walked out feeling great about being around your product or yourself, and your mission is accomplished, and be kind, because everybody have things behind them. You don't know. You come across angry customer. You don't know what happened before that. So listening and be kind and have a good purpose on creating what you do, you cannot be wrong.
That's beautiful. And I imagine that philosophy and attitude that you have translates across all aspects of your business, the way you treat your staff, your customers, your suppliers, the copy. I mean, I'm looking at the homepage of your website now. It's got this beautiful picture of a Ballerina Me doll with a beautiful young girl who I'm guessing is your daughter, with just a wonderful glowing smile on her face. So that's a great example, Rini. And again, I don't know whether you know this, being a relatively new entrepreneur, but what you have done is created a brand and then been consistent in the way you portray that brand across all aspects of your business.
I hope so.
The marketing goodness you're listening to is made possible thanks to American Express. And if there was one card in their suite of cards that I'd love to draw your attention to, it's their Business Explorer credit card, which is a very, very sexy little beast. Here's why. It gives you up to 55 days interest-free on purchases. You earn up to 2 points for every dollar spent. You can receive 50,000 bonus points if you spend $100K in the first 12 months. That's not possible for everyone, but maybe your business has that and many expenses go through. Complimentary travel insurance. You can receive a welcome bonus of 100,000 points if you apply by February 4, 2019 and spend $3,000 within 3 months of your approval date. That's a nice little card, isn't it? To find out more, simply Google Amex Business. Terms and conditions do apply. Check their website for details. You're listening to the award-winning Small Business Big Marketing Show, thanks to American Express and Design Crowd. And we're talking to Rini Lombard, who is the founder of these wonderful children's toys called Ballerina Me dolls. Now, Rini, here's the thing. Let's talk a bit about marketing. No one, as far as I know, is searching on Google for child-size dancing ballerina dolls. So...
No.
I am fascinated. How did you get the name out there?
Initially, we just did local market, and it grew. Then we opened up slightly. I'm still learning at that time, social media. But we also have been very fortunate to be captured by some of the editorials, and then that's starting going up. We also now, the past 3 years, we have attended a trade show just to get the name out there, to get to the stockers.
So let's break those things down because they roll off the tongue very easily, right? But I imagine all of them have required some hard work. So did you start off, and you wouldn't be the first guest on this show, I can tell you, to start off in a local market? Is that where you started?
Yes, so I literally started off from the local market, and it was my goal that time. Of course, the first step was just to get the products actually good enough to be out there, then to be even accepted to be in the market as a designer items and things like that. So yes, it's starting off from the market.
Okay, so you've hustled on the street, you've done markets. You talked about social media. What role has social media played in Ballerina Me dolls' success?
It's a good role in the way of getting your name out there and being recognized, and then people can see what you do. So that's it's a quite big role in our brand recognition.
Have you done all that yourself, or have you handed the social media over to someone?
Only the last 3 weeks, frankly, that I have somebody who helped me out, because it's got a lot bigger now than just Ballerina Me doll. So we also have other new creation comes into town. So I needed some sort of extra hand to take care of them.
So, Rini, another aspect of your marketing has been the publicity and free editorial that you've got. So how have you gone about doing that?
So we engage with one of our PR agent who's been absolutely wonderful, and he is, he gets to know me as a person and also the business and understanding the core and the reason why I started the business, which really helpful. And so he helped us to get in touch with a few, different media outlets out there and share the story with them. Basically, we're sharing the story, and that's actually helped a lot for us in terms of getting our name out there to the next level.
Besides getting coverage on the Small Business Big Marketing Show, which must be a highlight of your morning.
I talked about it to everybody. I said, don't call me. I'm going to talk to Tim Reid. It's a Small Business Big Marketing.
Good on you. What other coverage have you got?
So we have a coverage with the Age magazine as the toy. Yeah, it is a toy for girls in 2016. Mm-hmm. And we also have a coverage from Channel 10 daytime show through this PR agent. And we also have a lot of coverage with the Senior Age magazine, and it covers Australia-wide.
Well, some of the publicity that I saw was the Ballerina Me doll being talked about on Studio 10, which is quite a popular show. I didn't see you interviewed on it. I just saw one of the hosts talk about the Ballerina Me doll, and I thought, that's pretty good exposure. Did you pay for that?
With the Channel 10, we do not pay a penny at all. So this is the role of a PR agent who actually allow us to get in touch, which otherwise it will be basically for small business like I am. almost to the point it's impossible to get there. But the PR agent assists us to share our story. They like it, then they talked about it.
What kind of return on investment have you got from this PR? Can you measure it?
Oh, I won't mention the dollar exactly, but for a startup, it's a little bit more than break it even. So that's how you can, translate. So it has been a massive success in the way of in measured kind of goals.
So what I'm understanding there is the cost of employing this publicist, you have just broken even in terms of sales, no?
Oh, no. Oh, so we got more return from having a publicist or publicity like this.
You didn't break even. You made money from it and you would continue to do it, I'm guessing, as part of your overall marketing strategy. Tell me, trade shows. What role have trade shows play and what do you do at trade shows to get exposure?
So the trade show for me was initially just to get an acknowledgement as a business. To be in the toy industry, they are quite tough competitions, and you would imagine you have to up against Mattel as etc. And they are huge companies. It's almost like to me it's a whale. I'm a little krill. I am a krill, but I ride with them.
So one of the things that's quite fascinating, and I read an article only recently, I mean, Mattel is a shrinking whale because, the Barbie doll, she is really under pressure because kids are on screens. You operate in an incredibly competitive industry. We touched on that earlier. You are competing not only against other dolls and toys, but apps and games and consoles and, that whole online thing. Do you ever consider that, or do you just get on with creating joy?
I'm creating joy in all of aspects. So if we can tap in different way of bringing out joy to other people and inspire team, also to inspire and encourage their children creativity, we will tap into that. So in the future, we do open to the idea of something, so not just making plush toys. So we'll tapping into different aspects.
Rini, you have got big dreams ahead. I can hear that in your voice.
Scary.
Is it scary?
I always scared every single day, but the other part of me was excited whenever I see the visions beyond my dream. It's crazy. It's crazy. I tell you, it's crazy.
I'm pretty excited to announce that Yellow are a major sponsor of this show, which makes a lot of sense given they're a leading digital marketing agency and this is the leading marketing podcast in Australia. So who are Yellow? Good question. Well, besides it being a very yellowy colour and possibly Coldplay's best song ever, yellow.com.au offers a range of digital marketing products designed specifically for people like you, small business owners on a budget who want to grow. Now, I'm talking about Australia's #1 online directory. They can get you into that. They have affordable SEM, that is search engine marketing, and search engine optimization packages. Plus, they design and build pretty nice websites. I totally get how tricky digital marketing can be. You know that. That's one of the reasons I do this show. So why not let Yellow take care of this side of things for you whilst you focus on what you're good at? Check them out, yellow.com.au, or give them a buzz if you're in Australia, 132489, and tell them Timbo sent you. We're chatting with Rini Lombard, who is the founder, the owner, the inspirer of Ballerina Me dolls. Thanks to American Express and Design Crowd. Rini, what is the biggest mistake you've ever made in business so far?
I think the biggest mistake was by not engaging the correct legal advice. For me, as a creator and an inventor, people copy your ideas pretty much in a heartbeat, and you cannot do anything about it until it was way too late. So it's tough, but it's important to understand it and just to get a legal advice about what you do to avoid the costly mistake.
So did you have someone in the early stages actually copy the idea and get it to market?
Yes.
Oh, that must have been disheartening.
it's not only disheartening. I vomited for 3 days. I was sick for a week and a half. I pretty much thought, I'm giving up. I cannot do this. I can't afford it. There's no way. But then again, I just remember the advice from very wise man who's helping me out at the start. It's like, well, you can make a good coffee and people will choose you. And then again, be kind and be good to your customer and they will come back to you. So
What great advice. Rini, a couple of other things. You are already extending the brand. I noticed that you are about to launch or have launched boys' dolls called Surf Buddies. So you're entering the boys' market.
yes.
I love it. Can you invent sort of adult-sized ones? I bet you've been asked to.
Yes, but I said no. I actually, somebody called, oh, did you make one from latex? And I said, oh, honey, no. Not yet.
I didn't mean that kind of doll, by the way, Rini. I just
I'm sorry.
I thought it'd be nice to, prance around my lounge room with a ballerina every now and then. That's all. Very innocent.
That's true. I actually made a prototype. I kid you not. But no, it's not going to happen. For now, it's not going to happen. But yes, prototype is sitting in our corner hall with, warehouse. But no.
Rini, I think it's a wonderful story. 3 years in, you've made fantastic inroads. I can hear it in your voice, the passion and joy that this business is bringing you, and may that only grow, because I think we need more business owners like you, stay-at-home mum, doing amazing things. And to anyone listening, even if you don't have a young daughter or a young son, you've probably got a young niece or nephew or cousin, I'd head over to ballerinaandmedoll.com.au and just send someone a bundle of joy. That's all they need to do, right, Rini?
Yes. And grandparents out there too, they, you can buy it for yourself. I won't tell a soul that you're keeping them in your corner of your bedroom. I promise you.
Good on you, Rini. Well done. And thank you for sharing your story on the Small Business Big Marketing Show.
It's my pleasure, and thank you, Tim, for having me.
Well, there you go, team. Ballerina and Me creator Rini Lombard. What a passionate, loving business owner. Hey, be sure to hang around after my top 3 attention grabbers as I get on my high horse and have a rant about a not-so-great customer experience I recently had. But first, my top 3 attention grabbers from that chat with Rini, thanks to Yellow and American Express. Attention grabber number 1. I love how Rini talks of Mattel, her major competitor and, a very big competitor. As she said, she's the krill and they're the whale. So instead of fighting, she rides alongside them. Beautiful. Attention grabber number 2. I totally agree that we all need just one person to believe in us. I hope you've got that. Someone who can push you along. It could be a mentor. It could be your partner in life. Could be one of your kids. I don't know. But have someone who believes in you and lean on them occasionally. And attention grabber number 3. I love how Rini is crystal clear on her why and what an incredible why it is in bringing joy to people. That drives her. That's what grabbed my attention. Head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/444 and let me know what grabbed yours. So I had a local business come to my home recently to measure up for a new flywire security door. I'd found them through an online search. They'd obviously spent pretty good money with some SEO company or did it themselves, and they also had a really high converting website. I booked an appointment. The guy came out, spent 40 minutes measuring up, showing me the various options, explaining the benefits of each in some detail, and he was pretty impressive. I also told him how keen I was to get the door fitted, and he assured me it would be done within my specified time frame. That afternoon, I had a beautifully designed quote emailed to me with photos of the 3 options I'd shown interest in. But then a week went by and nothing. Bagel. Crickets. No follow-up email. No follow-up phone call. Absolutely nothing. Finally, after about, 10 days, I received a call from a young girl in their office asking if I'd be going ahead with the quote. Problem was, for them at least, in the meantime, I'd received a flyer in my letterbox from a competing company who were running a special on the same product. I got them out and their quote was 27% cheaper and their service was infinitely better. Now, I said to the young girl that her quote was far more expensive than the other one that I'd received, And all she gave me was an, okay, thanks for letting us know. Really? My point is this. In fact, I've got two. Don't go to all the trouble of generating precious inquiry to then have it all fall down at the pointy end when someone is ready to buy from you. You've got to get the whole customer experience right, not just the upfront bit. And when someone says you're too expensive, firstly establish how much more expensive you are, and then, at the very least, put some effort into talking them around. That is simply good for business. That almost wraps up episode 444 of the Small Business Big Marketing Show. Thanks to American Express and Yellow. Now, you can, after the show's finished, you can do it now, you can, search Amex Business to find out how your business expenses can reward you, and check out yellow.com.au for a suite of business products ideal for small businesses just like you that'll help you get found online. They'll get you into the biggest online directory in Australia. They'll get you some search engine marketing, some search engine optimization. They do websites and all that kind of good stuff. Next week, we have a chat with a couple who, according to them, organise the best hens parties going around. And I've got to say, it gets a little heated in parts. And we catch up with customer experience expert Amanda Stevens, who's going to explain how we can handle being a little bit more epic in the way we love our customers. So you have good reason to be excited if you are a regular listener. Don't forget there's an entire back catalogue over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com. If you love the show, please let other business owners know about it. I'd really appreciate that. Until next week, I am Timbo Reid. Thanks for tuning in. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.